Okay, this is the bugger that caused my problem. One of my subscribers, Craig, was asking about how and where that should be mounted. The next picture will show you where it should be mounted. And as you can see, there are two holes in the back of the dash. This is the original. I'm changing it. I have definitely decided I'm changing it. I took this photograph so I know what shit goes where. Looks pretty simple. The only thing I think I might have to do is join the whites and the browns together to feed the greens and the purples. Looks pretty simple to me. And then I'll just need to figure out the fuse ratings. The panel, this is that you're looking at, I think I'm just going to take off the voltage regulator, put it to one side, and mount my fuse block on it, which is coming up in the next picture. Any second now. Come on, hurry up. Got things to do, you know, people. Come on, show the picture. Jesus Christ. There it is. So that's the fuse blocks. Down at the bottom, positive. Up at the top, negative. Probably won't use the negative at the top, in all honesty. I can't think of any reason why I would. However, I will definitely be using the fuses there, which is good. And that gives me 12 fuses to use. Don't think I will be using them all, but hey, you never know. Okay, now let's get on to... I have just discovered something that I would say is depressing. It's just fucking annoying. As you know, I don't really get depressed. I don't give a shit about most things, apart from my wife and my dogs. And my Mark II, of course. Don't ask me which order they're in. I'll be divorced. This main wiring harness, which I didn't remember. Yeah, it comes out there. Fine, comes out there. Goes over there. And it goes over there. And it goes over there. It comes along here. And it goes down through this wing. Oh, and it also goes down through that wing. And I've fixed it in places. I'm considering severing it and putting joins in. Why? Yeah, I know, maybe it's a bit of sacrilege. I really don't want to do it, but I also don't want to have to remove the wiring harness out of the wheel arches as well. It goes everywhere, this fucking harness. I'd forgotten that. I got the fuse box off. Hang on a second. You can't see that, can you? There, now you can. You can see I've got the fuse box off. And I got all these wires sorted out ready for, well, because there's an alternator now, not a generator. But yeah, you know, you see there's, yeah, this is not very pretty. I'm going to redo this. But it comes along here, as I said, goes across over to the other side, down into the wheel arch over there, and hits various things over there. And again here, oh, you can't see it. Hang on, maybe you can, if I can get my finger out of my ass. This bunch here, that goes through.
And that feeds the fog lights, the horns, the headlights, the turn signals, every fucking thing. So, consequently, I really don't want to pull all of that out. If I decided to cut this harness, and again, yes, I know that's a bit of a no-no. I would have to decide where to cut it, and maybe logically right here. But before I could do that, I will have to strip the insulation back to make sure I'm past the point where the burnt out wire is. So let's, for argument's sake, and don't worry, this isn't set yet, I strip this back and I don't see that burnt black wire. That's good. That's a fucking miracle. Then I've only got to take it, sorry, you can't quite see my hand. I'm waving. Take it out over there. Over there. So, I could chop it here. However, if I strip the insulation back here on the braiding, and I discover that the burnt wire is still here, then I have to figure out, okay, well, does it come to this inner wing this side, or does it go to the wing the other side? And take it from there. God, this is such a fucking nightmare. You see, I don't have any black wires here, but that doesn't mean one doesn't go past. I do have a black wire here, which is in here. But I tested to ground over there, and as this is grounded and it didn't buzz, I'm assuming, maybe wrongly, God, that is awful, I gotta do that. I can't believe I did that. But anyway, I will be sorting that out. Christ, that is really awful. Sorry. I must have been drunk when I did that. I'm sorry, I'm thinking. You can tell by the whirring of gears. Yeah, I don't really want to cut it down there. Hey, nobody told you to turn. Oh, you stupid fucking camera. Turn. Sorry about this, guys. This camera really does have a fucking mind of its own. I like it, but I don't. So, I don't want to cut it down there, do I? Because apart from anything else, I can't hide it. Whereas if I do it up here and join it, I can hide it so that it won't look so bad. Because, I don't know, let's say I've got 15 wires in there, that's 15 joints. And those joints, I would be better off soldering and heat sleeving, which means I've got to really strip a fair old chunk of this off. In my head, where that vacant space is, where a brain should be, I'm thinking here is the best spot to initially look. Of course, that doesn't negate the fact that the wires over there that connect to the heater box and that go down to the gearbox and every other fucking thing. Sorry. Bit of a yawn as amongst my screaming. I keep trying to take shortcuts and they bite me in the ass, so is this one that will bite me in the ass if I try and take a shortcut. One thing my wife suggested, which I did consider for a while, was to take the engine out, because it would be easier doing all of this. But, and of course, putting the wires back in. But to take that engine out is a fucking nightmare. So I'm not going to do that. But I do like the fact my wife comes up with ideas, and believe me, she's come up with some other ideas that have been fucking amazing. And one of them is this ramp. And don't know if I've ever told the story, but I'm going to tell it now whilst I have you as a captive audience. When we lived back in Pennsylvania, I wanted to build a separate garage on the land we had, and there was a driveway, and I could have just put it there. And my wife said, well, okay, how much is it going to cost you to put the garage up? And I said, probably about $5,000. You know, electricity, building, concrete, you know, stuff like that. She said, okay, why do you want it? I said, well, so I can, you know, work on my cars. You know, I'm going to put a, you know, do my stuff in there and perhaps put a pit in or something. She said, well, why don't you buy a 4-post lift? Well, why would I do that? Why would I buy a 4-post lift? They're expensive. Really? How much are they? Well, I don't know, but they're expensive. Well, why don't you check? Yes, dear. So I checked. 2.5 grand. So I saved 2.5 grand. It's in my garage, and I still have it with me. Because if I'd have spent the 5 grand on the garage when we left Pennsylvania, the garage would have stayed. Whereas I have my lift, it's still with me, and it is moved various states and also various houses. So, yeah. Don't always poo-poo what your wife says, guys. Listen. You know? Sometimes we think we know everything and we don't. Wives are wonderful creatures. Yes, we find them annoying, they find us annoying. But, listen. Oh, and another stupid little aside on that. So my knee's been giving me grief all day. What did she say? Well, put your brace on, you dumb shit. Although she didn't use those words, because she's a lady and she doesn't do things like that. Was she right to tell me to put my brace on? Yes. But don't tell her I said that. All right, guys. I tell you what, I think I'm going to push this video out. It's just me prattling. I'd like your thoughts. I don't say, as always, that I will pay any attention to them or do it. Regarding the battery isolation switch, I've decided that's going inside the car. Only a few of you came up with suggestions. Tisk, tisk. And regarding the wiring and should I cut into the harness and chop it? I mean, and you may all be thinking, well, you know, just find the bad wire. No, I can't do that. I have to take the harness out because I don't know what damage that wire has done to the wires around it. And that could be another fire. And I don't want that. Therefore, am I saving myself work by cutting the harness once I found out how far along that burnt wire goes? Or am I creating myself a fucking nightmare? Now, if I cut the harness and then make the joins again in each cable, I will solder those cables and use heat shrink. And I will try and stagger the joints so that it doesn't end up with a fucking great big knuckle. Give us some thoughts. As I mentioned, doesn't mean I'll follow them, but sometimes I haven't thought of shit and other people have. But right at the moment, that's what I think I'm going to do. Oh, one other thing that I haven't mentioned. Get out of that garage, go do some shit.